Hi guys, I'm Haze, artist and speed painter from Malaysia. And today, while you look at my time-lapse painting, I'm just gonna talk about 10 tips for full-time artists. I am a full-time artist and I used to have a business. Actually, I still do. I have a company that does like creative solutions and murals and illusions for corporate clients. Today, I'm going to talk about the tips that is very relevant to you if you are going to think of your artwork and selling them in terms of a business instead of a hobby. So let's get started. The first thing I'm going to talk about is fan base versus the 3 Fs. So in any early business adoption, the support will come from mainly 3 Fs. And the 3 Fs are friends, families, and fools. So these are the people that is going to be willing to buy your product, whether if it's clothes or artwork or food. So if you come from an affluent family, like if you come from a high income family, this would be great because the people that's going to buy your art are in your demographic already. But if you come from a middle class income family or a low class income family, then you're going to have some trouble because you can't market to people that you already know, which are the 3 Fs. They can't afford your art. So what you have to do is you need to build your own fan base. The easiest customer segment to approach are event companies because they always need art. And look at corporate clients, for example, hotels, cruises, and in the tourism industry when you're first starting out. So these people are like the bridge between you and the high income earning people. They are the ones that help you target the kind of collectors you want to attract. Meanwhile, also expand your contacts and work towards having your own fan base. The second tip, good art is not enough. If you think that your awesome art is going to be enough to propel you into fame and make a living as an artist, well, you're wrong. In other industries, maybe you can, because in other industries, you do not have to be in the top 5% in order to make a sustainable income. But in the creative industry, you do need to be in the top 5%. You need to set yourself apart. Any age will give you an advantage. Maybe you're a hot chick, maybe you have an influencer Instagram account or a Facebook account, or maybe you are very widely connected in certain customer segments. You need to use whatever advantage that you have to your own advantage. And the image that you craft for yourself will decide the kind of customers that you attract. So if you want to attract someone from the higher income class, you need to already dress like them when you approach them. You need to live their lifestyle. Then you will be able to expose yourself to contacts that are similar to the kind of customers that you want to attract. You need to fake it till you make it. This is also one of the reasons why I've never been to any entrepreneurial talks or networking classes or gatherings like that, simply because they are not the kind of demographic I want to attract. I have already decided the kind of customer segment that I've wanted, and I need to go there and attract those customer segments instead of casting a net over such a wide target area and getting nothing in return. Tip 3. There's no such thing as free work for exposure. First of all, material cost is high. And you know that in the creative industry, an average graduate gets paid much lower than other graduates in other industries. But I think that you can ask for pro bono or free stuff when the artist is already established, because that will be the time where they are able to support themselves and they can spend more time to contribute back to community. And for emerging artists, it is your duty to support them as best as you can, because they are the ones that need support the most, instead of asking them to give the most when they're just emerging. Also, if you're an artist, only accept a free job if there's really a solid plan in publicizing your brand or your artwork. People can say anything they want and they can promise you the world, but if you do not see in black and white, there's no point accepting it. If there aren't any plans involved but they are willing to give you publicity, you can always suggest to them what you want. Maybe an article features, banners, advertisements, or flyers that they have to produce for you. Tip 4. Renegotiate when the scope of project changes. Now this is very important. Sometimes when you're returning favors, you are tempted to give like a time-based package, or you're giving discount for your artwork in return. So the problem is when it comes to time-based packages, let's say this year you're offering $500 for 2 paintings every year. But in 3 years' time, this package is not going to work out because it's not going to be worth it anymore. And you feel reluctant to renegotiate the package with your client because you feel that, oh no, it seems like I'm demanding for too much. But it is in your right to renegotiate when the scope of work changes. For example, if there's extra complexity in the work that is being discussed currently, or there is added quantity, or there's inflation in price. Also remember that it is in your right to demand an increase in price if the order has become a rushed order. Well, you can't charge the same if the person just won it yesterday, right? And let's all face it, art takes time to create. If every client wants it yesterday, what are we gonna do in life? Just remember that not everyone is out there to take advantage of your time, your resources, and your talent. Sometimes they are just misinformed and doesn't know any better. It is your job to inform them, remind them, warn them, and impose the price change whenever it's necessary. Tip 5, the most important question of all, how do I price my art? I'm going to offer a few pricing strategies for artists. First of all, the price should be high enough that if you're incapable of working on the artwork and you need to ask someone else to do it, they'll be willing to do it for the price that you have set. So if you think that your friends wouldn't even want to accept it because you've been charging too low, you're probably charging too low. It should also be high enough that if the client asks for numerous reworks or changes, and it should still be worth it and you will not feel cheated. The price that you set should cover all these necessary reworks. Also remember to state them very clearly in your quotation. Admin and selling expenses must also be included. Yes, maybe you're a freelancer and a one-man show, so why do you need to charge for accounts or admin or transportation or driving off to drop your artwork at the frame shop or things like that? Because in 3 years' time, you might have a team that does all that for you. And if your price that you've set earlier on is not even high enough to cover for a 3-man team, then how are you going to expand your team next time? So make sure that your price is for a team and not for one person. Next up is do not worry about competition. There are some business models that thrive on offering the cheapest solutions. I will cover these business models next time, but your image and price range should attract the client that you want to attract. So stick to it and do not fluctuate them, because these are the things that you need to keep constant. When you start offering different price range for different clients, it's not good, because then you will start valuing your own art based on the price, and you will give less effort if you have priced your artwork less for this particular client. And we do not want that. We want the same quality, the same price range, so that we attract the same kind of clients. Tip number 6, do not shit in your own rice bowl. These are some of the things that you should not do. Do not hire an asshole. It will be evident, because when you hire an asshole, your staff will start to leave and they would complain, and then you can sense that the mood is there's just tension there, and by then you have suffered substantial losses. Do not exploit your own company as well. I understand that paying less income taxes is the goal here, but claiming your expenses, your petrol, your friends' entertainment bills, and the books that your mom buy, and you just start to claim them all just to avoid taxes is just plain unethical. You're just pissing on the faces of the people that work so hard for your company. Plus, it also encourages them to do the same. So you have to set a good example for your team, right? Number 3, you do not take advantage of uneducated clients. Simply put, you do not charge more or give less value when you know that your client is less educated about the things that you're offering. Do not take advantage of them. Make sure that you're really providing the same service throughout. And the last one is do not betray clients. It may sound like a funny statement, but sometimes a project has a complex hierarchy. So maybe someone from the event company has hired you, and then they're below the PR agency, and then PR agency is under the branding company, and then after that there's a main client, and the main client has a few subsidies. All of them are talking to you, and you start bitching to them about this and this and that because you do not know what the hierarchy is like. This kind of thing can blow up fast in your face, so never badmouth anyone or try to manipulate to get your way. You cannot assume that people are just not close or they hate each other just because of something that you've overheard. This will almost never work out well unless you're a very good strategist. Okay, tip number 7, backstage doesn't have to look good. If you're setting up shop for your gallery or for your artwork and you think that, oh my god, I'm a designer, I need to have my tables this color, and then the walls to have this finishing, and the lights need to be this, it has to look this particular way, and you know that it's going to rack up a lot of money when you do things like that. Sometimes you just have to keep it lean, keep it simple. There are certain things that you cannot afford to skimp on, like niche tools that you make your art, you definitely should spend on them. The most important thing is that things that people do not see and areas that people do not go to doesn't really have to look good. Keeping things lean is very important when you're starting out a business, because you are looking to maximize your profits here, and keeping the cost low is the way to go. Also, you should always take care of the staff first instead of the assets. When you take care of your staff first, the assets will take care of itself later. Because I was very lucky, because I have a company where my team would save every egg carton that they use at home, you know. They will also save every plastic cup that they use so that we can use them for projects. It's things like that that doesn't really save the company a lot of money, but it's a very nice gesture, and you know that the team is headed the right way, and that is what you want to have when you're working together. Tip number 8, want to be the best, you have to invest in yourself. There's a few kinds of costs when it comes to business, there's expenses for your materials, your supplies, and also you have the cost for investing in yourself. When you spend something and it doesn't give you any return for your career, like let's say we are an artist, right? Then we buy things like, maybe we like to buy cars. Yeah, that doesn't really give a good return for our career. But if we spend on art supplies and canvases, and we invest in like new materials that we think that will work, and we do science experiments and we spend quite a bit there, that is investment. The difference between successful and unsuccessful artists is the amount of money that they spend in investing in themselves. Most people feel that they don't want to spend. They want to keep maximum profit and invest less because they think that that's the way a business should go. But as an artist, you need to invest in the following. You should market your artwork. No matter how great your art is, it will still be pins in haystack if no one can see them. So especially in social media, if you want them to be like the next viral art, it doesn't mean that people will remember your name. Attention span are short nowadays, so you have to have a strategy when it comes to marketing your art. Always make sure that people remember your name or your company's name. We see a lot of viral art videos nowadays, and do you remember any artist names from there? Nope, not really, because it's just not in the strategy itself, and that is sad because we remember the artwork, maybe. I don't even remember most of them, but we may remember the artwork, but we do not even know who created them. So is it important to have your name when it comes to marketing yourself? Of course it is. You do not want your artwork to be faceless with no signature. It's always important to catch the latest trend, especially now in this social media age. So there's a lot of trends going on, especially in art, and the next thing could just be viral. You never know. Like I said, attention span is short these days. If you need to spend quite a bit on learning, you should do it. Next up, you do not hire subpar staff to save costs. Hire appropriately according to the quality of service that you want to provide. Never assume that you can save the day and just, if your staff didn't work out, then maybe you just take over and do everything yourself again. Well, it doesn't work that way. If you need to do any saving, that will already mean a lapse in your management skills. Always invest in training your staff. Spend time to train staff and teach them to properly service others. Offer workshops and join training programs, and never assume that they will be loyal and stay in your team for long, but always make the best out of the work relationship. Tip number 9, community over competition. I have met all sorts of artists, and the worst kind comes with ego. Especially, girls and guys are the same like that. Here's how they behave. They never let anyone touch or edit their artwork. They never help others, and whenever they do it sloppily because it's not their own work. They do not take suggestions or criticisms well. They boast of small achievements because to them, it's a huge deal. They are not punctual, they delay their services and delivery of products because time is not important to them, so other people's time are definitely not important to them. They think they are divas. They feel offended when clients work with other artists. And they micromanage and take the lead when it comes to the project, even though they are not equipped for the task. Hello, if you want to lead a project, you have to first be good at it. Just saying. Collective success gives the most gratification and satisfaction to me personally. I think that an environment that encourages growth and skill improvement is necessary, and teamwork is the only way to get there. So I feel the happiest when people I work with have significant jump in improvement during our collaboration. Last tip, collaboration versus exploitation. If you're trying to build an image for yourself that is suitable for your brand, or maybe you want to enter the entertainment industry, for example, I'm a speed painter, right? Collaboration is a necessity. You need to collaborate with people that are more famous than you and have a better reputation compared to you. However, some collaborations can be toxic and especially difficult to navigate. This is true especially in cases when you are collaborating with people that's in an entirely different status compared to you. Most of the times, by the time you realize you're being exploited, it will be too late to have a win-win relationship or a negotiation out of the current deal. Therefore, it is important to be mindful and extra sensitive during any work relationship. When you're unhappy about something, voice it out immediately instead of keeping it for next year or next month. Then you never ever talk about it. So here are some signs if you're being exploited. First of all, there are no mutual respect. You're only being treated nice when the person wants something out of you. The benefits are not mutual or they are imbalanced. More often than not, this only happens when the resources and investment are also coming from one side only. Let's say one person is paying for everything, but the other side is just tagging along. The third thing is, certain terms and information are kept from you. You do not know about certain things, whether it's prices, information on the client or project or the location, simple stupid things like that. You deserve to know all of them and not on a last minute basis, definitely. The only time you shouldn't know about them is when you're being hired instead of collaborating with them. If you're a staff, there's no choice, right? But when you're collaborating with them, you need to have the same information that the person gets. Number 4, getting the worst end of the deal. Many things can change during the course of the project. Budget can be increased or decreased, but when the budget gets increased, both of you should benefit together, and when it gets decreased, both of you should also suffer together instead of just one person accepting the losses and the other one getting the same pay. The compensation had to be adjusted accordingly. That's what I'm trying to say. Number 5, you're being bound by a verbal agreement that doesn't exist on paper. Well, it just means you're being threatened, right? And the last one is, you have neither freedom of negotiation, growth, or collaboration with anyone else. There's this exclusivity thing going on, like if you work with me and you work with anyone else, I have to be in it, and if I'm not in it, I will be offended. So what kind of setup is this? I don't know, but these are signs that you're being exploited and you should seek legal counsel or just leave, I think. Okay, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you learned something during this video. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel so I can have a channel name. I still need a channel name. And also like and comment if you want to see more of my face. Thank you so much, and bye. See you next time.